Well, it's an early August evening. There's an osprey. That osprey is raised its little babies. They should be getting ready to be able to make their trip this fall. Still a few months away. I don't know when they actually migrate, but you know, it's still a couple of months away. I'm sure it's probably I don't know, you know, it may come whenever there's a storm. That might be when they leave. A lot of times the birds will leave if we have a tropical storm. Otherwise, I don't know when the osprey leave, but I think they're here for more than half the year. I think they're only away for about 4 months or something like that. That's just my guess. But it's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's another wonderful day here on Earth. We're not going to be able to see the sun today set because it's cloudy, but it's going to be a nice pleasant evening. It's not too hot. The wind has now shifted back around from the southwest. We blew out of the northeast, but I think it's going to rain some the next few days. When you're you know, contemplating life and you're in a peaceful state of mind, enjoying nature or whatever it is, kind of keep in mind that there's voices all the time. Every human being has what we call an internal voice, and those internal voices, this is very important, are influenced by a lot of things and people throughout our lives. And so there's this really important concept that I wish I would have liked to have known about when I was much younger, and that is the voice that is really your voice and the guide that's in your head, and maybe some people would say it's the voice of God even, but it's your voice, and it's the voice of harmony, let's say. Maybe it's the voice that's between you and God, or whatever, or you and the universe. It's the voice that's almost not a voice. It's a peaceful state of mind that's kind of humming along, let's say, like a little hum that's telling you, you know, do this thing, do the next thing, and do it in a way that doesn't require a lot of anxiety or extreme emotions. You know, there's a natural emotions, you know, there's a natural level of, there's a reason for why we get fearful or why we get happy or we get excited or whatever, you know, that's perfectly fine. But if those emotions are going to extremes and they're just coming out of nowhere, we don't want that. That's what we call just being dysregulated. And if the voices that you're internally experiencing are loud voices, they're overwhelming, you know, they're not a peaceful type of, just almost not a voice at all, but just as you and what you're doing, you and your surroundings, that's your voice. The other voice, they're the influences from the outside world that you may have experienced throughout your life. And this is a very important concept, because the internal voice is not an imaginary thing. It's something that we all have. We speak to ourselves, we speak through things, we work through things using language. And humans are a language-oriented society, and we're language-oriented individuals. And so we also have pictures. We have pictures in our minds. We have music in our minds. We have lots of things in our minds, but we have a voice. And it's very important to know that if it's a loud, intrusive kind of voice, that is not you. That's not the peaceful you. And I know it's you. You feel like, hey, well, nobody else is around me. But what I'm saying is that's where usually people that have been close to you and very influential in your life have tried to control you too much. They've tried to get too much inside of you, and to the point where it's you know, it's really, this can go on and on and on and on for years and years and years if you don't recognize it and become aware of it, you know. So you need to be able to tell those loud voices, and I don't mean there's different ways you can do it, but the best way to do it is just to develop mindfulness so that you know what your peaceful voice is, the peaceful, logical, thinking voice that guides you to do the things that are in your heart and the things that you know that you're meant to do. Typically the things that you're meant to do are things that you gravitate towards, that you become good at. So normally the things that we become good at, we become happy with doing. The things that we're happy doing are the things that we become good at. Doesn't mean we're not going to have a lot of challenges or they're going to be easy. It just means that they're the things that you're happy to go through the challenges for. And you're not forcing yourself away from those things just because some other voice is telling you, oh, you can't do that, or you won't be good at that, or it's going to be too hard, or you shouldn't be doing that, or you take a break, you're working too hard, or stuff like that. That's not normal. You'll know when to take a break. You don't have to have something telling you you're working too hard. You'll know when it's healthy to take a break. You'll know when you need to push harder. You'll know when you are up against a challenge and that you know you can overcome it with a lot of good hard work, or you know when you want to take on something new, and you'll know when you're done with something and you're ready to put it down and move on to the next thing. Those things will be in your peaceful voice. The loud voices are just coming out of the blue, and they don't have any logic to them. They're not sequential. They don't have a plan. They're just there disrupting. And so as you find peaceful times in your life, like these times in nature, find that peaceful voice, the one that's real quiet and not being loud in your head. That's just kind of you and nature, you and God, and you're just observing through that, with that voice. It's all kind of harmony. Your observations through your eyes and through your ears and through your sense of smell and touch is all in tune with the voice. So the voice is not overpowering all the other things. You're aware of what's around you, and you're aware of other people, and you're respectful of other people, and you're happy and grateful for life. That's what you're looking for. And when you can find that, learn what that is, so that voice can tell the other ones to quiet down and to go away. And sometimes, we're all going to have those experiences, and sometimes you have to let the loud ones just sit there, like almost like a person who's talking in the background that you don't want to pay attention to. You just got to learn that maybe it's going to be there, but your other voice can just not pay attention to that one. Don't let that loud voice be the voice that's telling you what to do. Don't let it be the one that's guiding you. If you with time, you can just tell it to quiet down and go away. But sometimes they're going to be there, and this is for everybody. This is very common things, and people should talk more about them. But they're sometimes you have to just let them sit there and be there, but don't pay attention to them. Just like it's a person that's being obnoxious. Okay, person, you're there. You're a person. I'm not going to be mean to you or anything like that. I'm just going to ignore you. I'm just not going to let you bother me. And that's another way to deal with it. But you can also say, this is my body, my mind, my life. Loud voice, go away. And peaceful voice, take control. And some of that sounds a little hokey, but it's real, and you can ask and people who study these things. You can ask your friend, hey, do you talk in your head? If they say no, they're not telling the truth, or they're a very odd person. You can study these things. You can become a student of the mind and of the brain, of psychology and neuroscience, and you can do it as a profession even if you want to, or you can do it as just something that you should learn, just like you learn about the rest of the body. It's very important because we all have a body, and we all have to take care of our bodies, and our mind and our brain are part of the body, but they're a very sophisticated and complex part of the body, and so they kind of require a bit of their own study and their own science in addition to staying healthy. So when you keep your body healthy, you're helping to keep your mind healthy, and when you keep your mind healthy, you're helping to keep your body healthy. But the mind is such a complex thing that you need to kind of put some extra effort separate from just the kind of effort you put into learning how to stay healthy, like exercising and eating well and getting the right amount of sleep and not doing bad things or taking bad things or whatever, or bad habits. Those things are all important to overall health, your brain, body, everything. But then there's an extra level of understanding and knowledge associated with the mind, and there's a lot of bad information out there about that. So studying it and trying to see which is really good information and which is not, and which is old information. There was a lot of old stuff that's not been proven not to be very accurate or useful too. And then there's some really, really old stuff, even older than the older stuff that I was talking about. When I say the old stuff, I mean stuff from just like in the last 100 years. And then there's stuff that's goes back 1,000 years, and that tends to be more accurate and more in line actually with the neuroscience that we have today. Because these people were people just like us, and they spent a lot of time trying to understand themselves and understand the nature of human beings. And they had many generations to learn practices and healthy things for the brain. Everybody from Jesus Christ to Siddhartha to Aristotle to Marcus Aurelius to, I should name some women, but to many great women as well. They really practiced the meditation and the prayer and the mindfulness, and also foods and things that were healthy for the brain, and community activity and being around the right people. Everybody's got to have a good group of people, a healthy, positive. I don't mean like they don't have to be positive in a way that ignores all the hardship and things in life. That's not what positive means. Positive means that there's a grateful gratitude for life in general, and that the challenges and things that are in life are part of life. We can accept them as part of life. That's the healthy kind of positivity. We're positive in that we understand and accept the world and life, and that we will deal with those things in the appropriate manner that's good for other people and moves everybody ahead in a good way. The golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And there's a very famous rabbi philosopher. His name was Hillel, and he said, "If I am not for me, who will be?" or something like that. And if I'm not for others, who am I? Meaning that you have to both recognize your own individuality and your own consciousness, and defend that from that loud voices and things that are trying to intrude into your head and follow your heart. But also at the same time recognize the other people are your brothers and sisters in this universe, and also all the creatures of the world, and the nature, and all of these things is all together, and that you will also have respect for those things, and you will try as much as you can to be a good influence on them, and to be helpful to them, and try to guide them when you can in a good, positive way, or to take advice from them in a positive way if they are giving good advice. That's part of it too, is like the back and forth between people, being a part of a good society and organization with one another, and to be able to listen to different opinions and points of views, but at the same time maintaining your own individuality and that compass that's inside of you. I love you.